Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Wednesday to you and your family. We're looking at Bitcoin here, helping understand best practice and big picture. Down 3% on the day, traditional markets are breaking even. So what does that mean for us? Well, traditional markets are essentially bouncing off of that key level support. Now, I say bouncing, it's a little too early to tell, but it is hitting that support level and providing some resistance and or just generally disallowing the price to go any further. That being said, Bitcoin's coming down lower because, well, once again, we have support level here that we're testing now at this point. So a lot of supports are getting tested, previous highs establishing themselves as new lows. So it's kind of par for the course, right? We did lose that ascending trend line, at least tentatively we have. It's a good chance we will, though, based on today's trading day being almost closed or more than halfway closed. That being said, there's a lot of little factors coming in here. Keep in mind, too, at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, we have the FOMC minutes. That could also be a reason why the price is decreasing leading into that. Okay, so keep in mind a lot of little factors that are adding up here and essentially just causing the price to adjust. Normal stuff. That being said, if you are new to the channel, I love teaching people to trade. I don't think you know that yet, but if you have watched my channel, you'll know that we got a really awesome trading community, academy, and signal group. Whereas I send out signals for trades that I take just a couple days ago here on Monday. We took a Chili's trade, 30% in 1 hour, and of course Bitcoin hit nice 16. I think it was actually 17.5% in 9 hours for our second target. So really cool stuff there. Those are just signals that I send out as part of my community. There is an actual trial period if you want to consider joining and taking a look at that. But bottom line is you get to trade alongside some amazing, fantastic traders, and they're all doing very awesome. So I'm super proud of them. A lot of them kind of started off rough, and we've been able to kind of break things down and get you where you need to go. So awesome stuff. My trading academy covers all that. If you want to be part of something bigger, consider BitGet Exchange. We got a $4,000 prize pool here recently. Every month there's a new prize pool depending on the overall volume. Okay, so again, congrats to all my members that took the 750, 450, and 300. You'll get that deposit usually within about 1 week of the end of this trading session. Okay, so keep that in mind. That should be on the near horizon. Same thing with Bybit and of course MEXC Global. If you want an exchange in the U.S. without a VPN requirement, MEXC Global's got you covered. And of course, when it comes to Bybit, they're awesome because they integrate fully with my Cornix. So if you use Cornix, it's awesome to be able to be part of that. So make sure to use my link if you want to qualify for some awesome prize pools in the future and a lot of different trading benefits, essentially. Bonus benefit, whatever you want to call it. So here's the thing. When it comes to Bitcoin, simply put, we're at 23,700. Okay, so this is a key level of support, and the reason why I say that isn't just pulling a number out of a hat. We can see 4 days here, there was a closure right at that level where the price action had difficulty getting past that plane. For about a week and a half, it came down all the way to this previous resistance level, new support at 21,300. Bounced up here, came up to 25 even, got rejected pretty hard off the 200-day set moving average, and then, big surprise, 5 days later, the price gets rejected. Okay, so even though I'm expecting the price to still continue upwards in the relative near future, this makes more sense for the price to go up from here. There's a lot of resistance between 25 and 26, so we need to spend more time in this area, this range, to get us more volume. Okay, more volume at this price point will get us a better support level, because the only way to build a good skyscraper or whatever it is you want to call it is with a steady foundation, a solid foundation. Okay, we don't have a foundation of volume, the price is going to drop hard. Okay, so again, good stuff here in that sense. That being said, we're above 50 on the RSI, still in good shape there. We're not in dire straits whatsoever. We have a MACD divergence on the horizon that could pose potentially disastrous, depending on how things work out. And try not to misinterpret, because we're above all moving averages. We have a lot of support. There's no reason to get super concerned with this decrease here. I would say, though, of course, if we lose the range of 21,300, maybe a different conversation, but I don't think we're going to. We're still in good shape. We're making higher highs and higher lows on the daily, and these are all things so far that we want to kind of pay attention to and know that the overall trend is up on the daily time frame. Okay, just also recognize on the weekly, we have this death cross, for lack of better terms, kind of telling us that we are the price is below these specific indicators. Okay, so the 200-day moving average basically just tells us that, hey, right here at 25,000 is a strong resistance level. We got rejected there a couple of times. Well, 5 or 6 days in a row, right? So in that sense, it makes sense that we're going to get rejected. Okay, you got to retest the resistance level multiple times before you can break it, though. Okay, so again, not bad shape at all, but it is still one of those things. If you've watched my videos previously, 25 to 26,000 will pose a problem for us in the future, based on the simple fact that that's a strong resistance zone. We break free from that, we can run all the way up to 28. There's a big gap. Okay. That being said, looking here at the 4 hour, this ascending trend is no longer pretty much invalidated. We closed below, now working as a resistance. We can see the 50-day SMA also working concurrent, and now we're priced below that as well. Okay, so opening hours for today, not fantastic for Bitcoin, but hey, it happens, right? We take a look at some other indicators. We are still diverging, and of course the price is trending towards 30 on the RSI. So what does that mean for us? Well, it tells us that if we take a look at TD sequential here, we are overextended to the downside. So a bounce off this level would make sense. I'm not saying you should buy this dip, but I am saying that this is a complementing factor here, even more complementing than the fact that we're overextended on other time frames, or other indicators rather. So if you look at the RSI, we're down at 30, 35. In Bitcoin's history, it has a tendency of bouncing off that level in most cases. Okay. Again, not always. You see a 9 here on TD sequential, the price kept going down. But how much further did it go down? Not that much, and the price held at 30. While we're not to 30 yet, we're overextended on the time frame there, basically telling us we've had a full 36 hours of continuation of the downside. Right? So again, just some things to kind of think about here. To me, this kind of is a wash. The 4 hour isn't really indicative of a bounce or a turnaround, but it does tell us we're overextended, and that further downside wouldn't make sense immediately. Okay, it'd make more sense for the price to go sideways and then down, but stranger things can happen. You never truly know. But this is somewhat of a support level here. We got to expect it to hold until it doesn't. All right? So that's essentially how things work there. Let's take a look at the 1 hour and wrap this up here for you. We can see another overextension as well. In fact, 2 in a row. So here's the thing. You got 1 9 here, a second 9 here, over and further down. So hypothetically, we could really see another 6 more hours continuation of the downside or sideways from here. I think sideways makes more sense than down, but once again, with these type of buy the rumor, sell the news situations where we got the FOMC minutes coming up, there's a great chance we're seeing that correction just leading into that. There's also a great chance we could see a strong bounce and recovery if the minutes are good. Okay, so again, some things to kind of think about. But that being said here, we see 2 9s in a row. A third 9 would absolutely indicate a turnaround and potential for a bounce. Okay, so if we keep pushing all the way down to another 9, there's a great chance we're going to be able to see the price action recover, at least within reason. Okay, and when I say within reason, I just mean for example, if we look at Bollinger Bands here, we are a little outside of these upper and lower leads here, the standard deviation. So when you go outside of those things tend to balance out or level out, right? There's usually some type of increase when that happens. So we could very well see a run up to this Bollinger Band center point, which is the EMA 20. Okay. Again, a handful of little things that I like to kind of look at. Very last thing we want to summarize with here is Ichimoku Cloud. And we can actually kind of understand here that free and clear of the price action with the lagging span, conversion lines below the baseline, and of course we're well below the cloud. So there's no reason to open a long position just yet unless you use multiple entry targets. And the reason why I emphasize that is because that's a strategy that I like to use myself personally. We don't have any Bitcoin trades open right now. A lot of ours closed out with that trailing stop loss after we hit our second target, right? So we took our profits to the upside. Should we take it to the downside? Well, I don't love shorting, but sometimes if I were to long in a situation like this when we're overextended on multiple time frames and we have positive momentum on the daily, I think it's a good situation where you maybe consider taking entry here. Small percentage of your portfolio, percentage of your trade. You should never use more than 5% of your portfolio per trade, first of all, right? So just say you take 5%, put in here. Of that 5%, you should only be using 1.5 to 2% in your initial entry. And then you have a second target, or maybe even a third target at a lower price point, so you get averaged down and the price fills as you go lower. That's essentially what you want to try to do to effectively get a lower average price point and to allow yourself to get a good entry. Because just say the price does bounce from here, that little entry that you got in, you still got some skin in the game and you were able to take some profits. Worst case scenario, it comes down and bounces. You got in at a better average price point and you get a larger profit when the price comes up to your entry target. Okay. Again, a lot of cool little things you can do, but at this point, there's no indication to take a long, at least for the moment, unless you want to kind of roll the dice, right? I prefer to wait for confirmation. That's just me. I think we should wait to see if the price goes sideways or down first. If it goes sideways and up, establishes a higher low, then we take entry. That's essentially the consideration that we're looking for. But lower lows, lower highs, there's no reason for this to turn around anytime soon, even though it should based on overextension. Okay, so however you want to do the math, that's where we're at here for Bitcoin. It's always a fun time. So if you learned something, let me know. Comment below, all that good stuff. If you want to become a better trader, again, cryptocash.tech is the website, and I just look forward to working with you. I hope you have a a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for your time. You have a good one. We'll talk to you next one. Take care.